Hello,
hmm
everyone. Welcome to another pre-conference interview. My name is Nadia Khan. I'm the Publicity Committee Chair for TESL Canada Conference. Today's interview is with Taslim Damji. Taslim is a LINC instructor at Mosaic Language Programs, Vancouver. She is also the Intercultural Specialist at Mosaic. And Taslim will be presenting next week at the TESL Canada Conference. Thank you for doing this interview with us, Taslim.
Thank you, Nadia.
So, Taslim, I understand that there's a workshop and a presentation that you're doing, right?
That's right.
So,
The workshop is,
so what
sorry,
is no, that's okay. So, what's the title of your workshop?
the workshop is called Bringing Intercultural Competency into the LINC Classroom.
And what is it about?
And it's focusing on a process-oriented approach to bringing intercultural competency into the settlement English classroom. And in it, my co-presenter, Sarah Apperdale from the Northwest College of Intercultural Education, and I will be presenting different ways of doing that. We'll walk through the process that Mosaic is using for bringing intercultural competency into the classroom. We'll also demonstrate the use of surveys, case studies, and different activities to show participants how we build teacher confidence and knowledge in the area of intercultural competence so as to be able to work more effectively with newcomers and raise awareness of the multiple perspectives.
So, what made you interested in researching on this topic?
I think I'm interested in where our instructional practice comes from. Does it come from an ethnocentric or a monocultural place, or does it come from an intercultural place? I'm interested in how we see other people's cultural behaviours and how that affects our interactions inside the classroom and outside the classroom too.
So, what are a couple of key points in your workshop that you find fascinating?
I think I find it really interesting, the specificity with which teachers were able to articulate their perceived needs for bringing intercultural competence into their classrooms, and this really fed into the development of very responsive training process and material development. I think also really exploring the different ways to overcome the challenges of bringing intercultural competence into a language classroom. Particularly challenging is bringing that into low-level language classrooms. Sarah's materials are fascinating, developed in response to a need in rural Alberta, and the most interesting, I think, is the use of surveys for me. I really enjoyed the use of surveys, watching the responses. It was fascinating how intrigued participants were to see their survey responses framed as cultural orientations, and how curious they were and surprised they were by the diversity they found in those results and orientations.
Okay, and what about the presentation? So, what is the title of that?
The title of the presentation is Growing Intercultural Competence at Your Organisation.
Okay, and what is it about?
It's presenting Mosaic's solution to the increasing need to understand and navigate culturally diverse preferences, because intercultural competence is really key in helping to increase productivity and aims to really cultivate constructive partnerships.
And so why did you why were you interested in researching on this topic?
I think this was really the beginning of it all. So I think for me, we live in very diverse spaces, and in this society, that continued interaction between diverse groups and is really assured. So, but sometimes that diversity presents challenges. And I'm interested in how we can successfully navigate our differences and preferences to build more constructive relationships and to create harmonious, functioning classrooms, workplaces, and societies. And I see as offering effective strategies to optimize those relationships and help us to notice and access a tremendous wealth of experience and expertise that diversity can bring with it.
So could you tell us about a couple of points that you find important in this presentation?
Well, I think it seems to really serve a need. Something that I've found really interesting is the level of engagement and openness that participants demonstrated when given a structure to explore intercultural competency, and their desire to immediately apply whatever tools they had received from the workshops to intercultural situations that they had encountered and perhaps not even resolved yet. So I think that was very exciting to see and be a part of.
Okay. So Taslim, you've been to Lake Louise before. And so what's your impression of Lake Louise?
Well, I really love Lake Louise. I think it's one of my favourite places in Canada. I think it's got those beautiful glacial blues and greens that I carry everywhere with me when I leave Canada.
Okay. So what other presentations are you looking forward to at the TESL Canada 2015 conference?
I think there are loads of brilliant presentations. Looks like a really packed event. I think they're all going to be very interesting. But for me, I'm really looking forward to learning about what exciting projects other people in the intercultural field have going on for them right now.
Okay, so we'll see you in Lake Louise next week then, Taslim. Thank you so much for doing this interview with us.
Thank you, Nadia. See you next week.
See you.